They still have enough to stay up, I think. They'll still be strong enough to stay in the division. If one were to casually hear Roy Keane uttering these words on Sky Sports, one would imagine he was speaking about West Brom or Fulham or some other team that could potentially be facing relegation. The reality is this conversation was centered around Mikel Arteta's Gunners, who this season are currently languishing in 15th in the English Premier League. So as I'm sure you figured, this is the ball is round, and today we'll be talking about Mikel Arteta and a few other managers who we believe are in the sack race.
They've had a pretty bad season so far. They have lost to Leicester City 1-0. They got 3-0 from Aston Villa. They drew with newly promoted Leeds. They lost to Wolves. It's been a pretty bad season so far for them.
If we look at the North London derby the other day, Jose Mourinho's Spurs completely took them apart. Harry Kane and the Sun machine continued to roll, and it steamrolled Arteta's team. They look completely devoid of creativity. They look devoid of any kind of winning tactics or winning mentality. We saw them put in 44 crosses in one game. 44 crosses. I mean, and the crosses are to who? Aubameyang, who has looked like a shadow of the player that we've known in the last few seasons since signing his contract renewal. And I just don't see Arteta recovering or making a charge for any European places this season, and I don't think the Arsenal board will be too pleased with that.
Yeah, and when it's good that you spoke about Aubameyang, because when you look at this Arsenal team, only 10 league goals this season. That is pretty poor. And when you look at the only teams that have scored less, that would be Burnley, West Brom, and Sheffield. Those are actually the three teams that are in the relegation zone at the moment. So you can see how poorly this team is playing. Aubameyang, since he has signed his new contract, has only scored 2 goals in the league. I think Lacazette has 3. That that is already 50% of their league goals this season.
To put that into context, Dominic Calvert-Lewin of Everton has scored 11. The entire Arsenal Football Club has 10. And to touch on your point about Mesut Ozil, I don't really want to get into any conspiracy theories or fuel any rumors, but Mikel Arteta clearly said Mesut Ozil was left out for footballing reasons. And anybody, any random fan can look at this team and say that this team has no creativity. This team needs somebody like Mesut Ozil. The other day I watched Arsenal Fan TV when a friend of ours was featured as a fan who was allowed to have his say, and he spoke about the quote unquote expansive football and attacking wide wingers and so on that Arteta plans to implement in this team. I don't see any expansive or creative football happening with anybody who's presently in the squad. The only player who has any chance of really and truly creating to the level that Mikel Arteta needs is at his home, earning 350k a week while watching the games. I don't see how you can justify leaving Ozil out for quote unquote footballing reasons. It makes zero sense, and I'm pretty sure he'll be looking to make a U-turn on that decision come January. Pep Guardiola hailed him as some kind of tactical genius when he was his assistant there, but his recent performances have me questioning what he really did for Guardiola. But I believe that if you give him time, they can come around. But I don't think Arteta is the man to take Arsenal to a Premier League title.